Let me ask you a question now. What do you think now in America, what do you think is more effective as an attire, what to wear for da'wah? Do you think it's more effective to wear a full thobe, the Arab thobe, and give da'wah in the street? Or do you think it's more effective to wear like a nice shirt and pants and then give da'wah in the street like that? Who thinks shirt and pants? Put your hands up. Yeah? Who thinks the thobe is more effective? Put your hands up. Half a sister even, because she went like this. So, just one person thinks maybe the thobe is more effective. Okay, so those who said the shirt and pants are more effective, are you just taking a guess? Who is not taking a guess? You're not guessing about the shirt, that the shirt is better than the pants? Like from those who voted for shirt and pants, for those who voted shirt and pants, were you guessing or do you have certain knowledge? Guessing, right? For sure, I think everyone was guessing. And I was asking you to guess anyways, right? Right? Now, from collective years of collective du'at, not just like one guy, yeah, but many du'at we've spoken to over the years, and du'at who've been giving da'wah for years, specifically street da'wah, talking to complete strangers in the street, we actually found that there is almost no difference between what you wear. If you're wearing shirt and pants versus a thobe. But believe it or not, there's a slight advantage to the thobe. Why? Because the thobe, number one, it brings you da'wah. People will come to you and say, what are you? One time I was at a restaurant in a thobe. A lady came to me and said, excuse me, are you a rabbi? I said, yeah, I'm a black rabbi, yeah. They do exist, but people don't know that. Yeah. The point is, they bring you da'wah. And one time I said this in a workshop, and the brother didn't believe it. And next Friday, he's going to Jum'ah in a thobe. A non-Muslim came to him and said, hey, tell me about this. So he believed. That's one. Number two, when you're giving da'wah in a thobe, you appear more credible to people. Like they think you're clergy or you have a rank. We don't have a rank system in Islam. But they think you have a high rank within your religion, so you understand, you know what you're talking about better. You look more credible. So there's a slight even advantage to wearing a thobe. But I'm also sure you can think of a scenario where it's not a good idea to wear a thobe. Yeah, I'm sure. But what I'm trying to say is that we sometimes base things off of what my intuition, what I think is the issue. Yesterday, and the reason I'm bringing this up is that yesterday I asked a question. I asked, would people be offended in Malaysia if you go to them and start talking about religion? And a lot of people in the room said yes. And then some du'at who've done it multiple times said no. So, and I don't know the country, so I'm saying, have you tried it and you found people to be offended? Or are we just very reserved and very cautious? I don't want to offend anybody. So therefore, yes, people will be offended. Yeah. This happens all the time in America. Like part of the course, we're trying to encourage people, go out and speak to people. They won't be offended. And ask people for the shahada. They won't be offended. And people, sometimes one brother told me he pushed himself to give da'wah to someone. He said, I started sweating. My face got red. And I was so embarrassed. And the guy started thanking me. Thank you so much for sharing your religion with me. Yeah. So what he thought is going to be offensive. Why? And this is another thing. And can I not approach someone and speak to them about religion without it being offensive? What is it about Islam that if I speak to someone about it, they'll be offended? That's not true. You, as a da'iyah, you have to make sure that when you give da'wah to someone, that is a wonderful encounter for them. They can go home that night and say, you know what, I met a wonderful Muslim today. We had a great conversation. He explained a lot of things. He was very polite. He never interrupted me. They should speak like that about your encounter. If they don't, you need to improve your da'wah skills. That's what I always tell du'at in the UK, because they just fight with people. So I tell them, if the non-Muslim goes home and says, I met this rude, obnoxious Muslim, and he just kept arguing and trying to convince me, and he was interrupting me, then you failed. And that's not the way of the da'iyah. And one amazing thing, if you read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, you will notice that he never, you know what never means? Never interrupted anyone. Unbelievable. And they're insulting him. They'll sit down and say, if you're mad, we'll bring you a doctor. If you're doing all this because you want women, we will wed you to a very beautiful woman. If you want money, we'll give. He just kept talking and talking and talking. The Prophet never interrupted him. Imagine that happens to you now. Brother, why have your beard like that? Huh? You want women? I'll find you women. Dare you? You get upset. Tell him immediately. أنا تقول لي women yeah. So, but the Prophet was very patient. Then he said, أفرغت, are you done? And then he called him by his kunya, patronymic. And then he said, فاسمع مني. And then he responded. Never interrupts people. So, if you're going around interrupting, making people uncomfortable. So you say, if I talk to someone about Islam, they'll be offended. Then there's something wrong with your technique. Can't you speak nicely to people? Haven't you spoken about other subjects with people and they weren't offended? You spoke about sports, you spoke about weather, you spoke about this and this kind of food and the best restaurant with strangers before, and no one got offended. So why do they have to get offended when you speak about Islam? So watch how you present it. And why is it that if the Muslim goes and nicely with a good smile and good manners invites someone to Islam, they'll be offended. But Jehovah's Witnesses are running all over the place calling people. I don't even know Malaysia, but I'm sure Jehovah's Witnesses give da'wah. True or false? Okay. They do. Alright? So they give da'wah and no one says, well, no. If Jehovah's Witnesses speak to people, Jehovah's Witnesses, when they sit in their gathering, they don't say, people will be offended when we go speak to them. They go and they think they have the truth and they're calling people to falsehood. And we have the truth and we're like, people will be offended from the truth. I would rather they burn in the hellfire for all eternity. Doesn't sit right, wallah. Doesn't sit right. Has to be a wonderful encounter. Don't think, this is the deen of Allah. How is not something offensive. We didn't say go to someone in their face and use bad words and profanity. That's offensive. We can't equate calling people to Allah like to that, to something so offensive. Can we start now, inshallah? The thing?